Welcome in, everyone. We are the Sports Budz. This is the NFL show, week 10, and we are officially at the midpoint of the season. Let's get into some of our thoughts on the first half of the season by sharing some of our midseason award winners. I will start off with my award winner for MVP. No surprise here, Patrick Mahomes. Truly impressive performance against the Titans on Sunday Night Football, where I think he dropped back 69 times and pretty much willed that team to victory. Kind of gave him the edge over Josh Allen for me. Who do you got for MVP, Billings?
I kind of glitched out there for a second, but honestly, you kind of got to give it to, I'd say Geno Smith.
Okay.
This is why he's glitching out. Glitching out.
I know people are probably going to be surprised with me saying that, but that dude's just killing it for that team this year. And if he can win the division, possibly I'd say win a playoff game, get like a 1 or 2 seed in the NFC, why not?
Pretty bold. Who do you got, Nick?
I'm gonna go with the same pick you have, Tony. I think Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I think he's just proving to be the quarterback that he is, and he's on pace. What 5,500 yards, something like that.
Yeah,
he's just being Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's just willing that team to victory. He's pretty good. He's just
do it in February
again.
Yeah, he's done it.
Didn't do it the second time.
All right. Well, we'll move on to Offensive Player of the Year. I had Tyreek Hill as my award winner for Offensive Player of the Year. Who do you have, Billings?
I actually picked Tyreek Hill at the beginning of the season as my Offensive Player of the Year, so I'm going to stick with that. Is it plus 5,000? I'm an idiot for not actually betting on that. Gonna go walk into the ocean if he does actually win Offensive Player of the Year. But yes, he's I have Tyreek Hill.
I think he's gonna get the Deebo Samuel treatment this year, and people are predicting that he's gonna go off, but I think it's gonna surprise people how much he's used this year.
I agree with that. I could definitely see that because, as I was alluding to before, we're talking about Mike McDaniel. I see him using him all over that offense. He isn't just going to be lining up outside in the slot. He's going to be lining up in the backfield and motion all over the place. And when you get him and Jalen Waddle next to each other, who are you going to cover?
But yes, he's what offensive weapons outperforming him this year?
I'm in complete agreement with both you guys. Tyreek Hill is just on a different level right now. He's leading the league in receiving by 250 yards. It's just ridiculous.
The only other argument that I've heard for Offensive Player of the Year that I entertained was Jalen Hurts. I thought that was a pretty solid one. He is pretty much that entire Eagles offense. He is like that maestro there, running the ball all kinds as well.
I'd say Derrick Henry's next in line.
Okay, fair enough. Enough. And
he's
then
trying to hit his stride.
Defensive Player of the Year, I went ahead and picked Micah Parsons. Pretty chalk. Seems like I think both of you guys have.
Can I just interject for a second, real quick, on the Derrick Henry thing? If he's not on the Titans, Jeff Saturday is not the coach of the Colts right now. Plain and simple. It's a much different world in Indianapolis. So I'd say he's a pretty important guy to that team.
Yeah. I would agree. He is a pretty important non-quarterback.
Sorry, carry on.
Carry on. I was just gonna say, I think both of you guys picked Parsons to win Defensive Player of the Year before the season started. It seemed like that's pretty much kept steady with that. Although I think some other players have played well as well to be in there. Doesn't Judon have 10 sacks or something?
Judon is killing it. Sauce Gardner's having a year.
Yeah, he definitely is. All right. Coach of the Year. Who do you got for I will go ahead and start again here. I put Pete Carroll for Coach of the Year because Nobody predicted the Seahawks to be where they are, and he was the one that pulled all the strings and was like, guys, this guy Russell Wilson's the problem. Once we get rid of him, we can play Russ ball again and everything will fall into place. And that's exactly what happened. So it seems like this 70-year-old still knows how to pull the strings. Who do you got, Billings?
I'm sticking with my preseason pick in Kevin O'Connell. That team's clicking in a weak NFC right now, weak NFC North. And so I think they're just going to keep winning games, and he's going to be a high contender at the end of the year.
Another one you should have bet on.
Yep. Plus
Yep.
1,400.
Who do you got, Nick? Who do you got?
I am also going to stick with my my preseason pick of the year for coach of the year. I'm going to go with Mike McDaniel because, as we've all seen, he's unlocked something different in this Dolphins offense, something this fan base hasn't seen since the days of Dan Marino.
Yeah.
There it is.
And he would be next in line for me as well. I'd say probably Nick Sirianni after
Yeah.
that. Brian Dable as well.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. I would agree with that assessment. He definitely has unlocked that Dolphins offense, brought a lot of creativity to it, a lot of pre-snap motion.
Mhm.
Unlocked it. He
Yeah.
brought it to fucking town.
Yeah. when you get Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill at full speed when the ball's being snapped, it's kind of hard to stop that.
It's like Alabama. They have like the Alabama offense in the NFL. It straight up was like the Alabama offense with Tua in the NFL. And it's just like dudes just
Well,
zooming by.
he's doing exactly what they do in San Francisco. They're maximizing with the players they have. And yes, when two of those players are, three of those players are Tua, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, like, yes, it's going to be explosive, but you got to give a lot of credit to Mike McDaniel and what he's brought to town. Like, we've seen the absolute contrary to that with Brian Flores. So, like, credit where credit is due. I think, like, honestly, like, if I would have to say, he's most likely going to win it.
Who would you say is the biggest surprise of the season?
I'd have to say the Seattle Seahawks, because I was right there and saying when your quarterback starts at either Geno Smith or Drew Lock, you're in trouble. And Geno Smith has proven that he still deserves to play in this league.
Who do you got, Billings, for your biggest surprise?
I can't say the Seahawks because in earlier episodes I did like have like almost like little like asterisks there at the bottom where I was like, yeah, like something does still seem off about this deal. And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow we got a lemon. So I'm not gonna pick the Seahawks. Honestly, my biggest surprise is probably the Packers. They're dog shit bad, and it's not just from Devontae Adams leaving. Like, I'm sorry. There's something going on there. Their offense is completely different from what they were trying to run last year with LaFleur. So I don't know if there's just a power struggle going on between Aaron and LaFleur. But it's a disaster there. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'd say Aaron Rodgers is going to most likely retire this season. So that's a huge shocker.
Yeah. I had the Giants as my biggest surprise. We've gone weeks struggling to name receivers on the team, yet somehow they're like have a winning record. If you told all of us before the season they won 6 games, we'd be like maybe 6-11 or something. But it's Brian Dable's been doing a great job there. They've definitely overachieved with the talent they have.
I have to agree with that.
I'd say, yeah, Brian Dable and Mike McDaniel, like proving kind of that genius coordinator tag that they got nicked with. So congrats to them.
And I guess we could tie this in. One of my biggest disappointments this season would be the Colts. Let's talk about what the Colts are doing. Firing Reich and bringing in Jeff Saturday. The only explanation I heard that made sense to me, this is America Tim Lasso. American Ted Lasso, and that's what Jeff Saturday is. And he's just going to try and make everyone feel good on the Colts. And they're going to play good. Like, I've got no other explanation of what they're trying to do there. What do you got, Billings? What's going on in Indianapolis?
Like, honestly, I think people are overreacting to it. It's not that like crazy of a hire. It's not like that out of left field. Like, teams have done this before across
What?
sports. Yes. Yes. Like
Bringing
Jo-
you
like
out of the broadcast booth to coach your team? I don't recall.
what about John Lynch with the Niners?
Yeah. Well,
And like the success that he brought. And it's Jeff Saturday knows football. Like, he's a smart guy. So I just think people are blown out. Like, you want to know the coaching hires that surprise me? It's like when the Niners hire like Tom Sula. Like, those are the ones where I'm just like, what is going on over there?
Hold on. Jeff Saturday knows football, yet we have heard nothing from Peyton Manning and nothing from Bill Polian giving like votes of confidence about Jeff Saturday being a head coach.
But why
And
do they need to anoint him?
maybe a vote of support, like, yeah, this guy does know football, and you've
Yeah.
heard nothing from both.
I
of
mean,
these
Peyton Manning
guys.
did come out and vouch for Adam Gase, so I don't know how much that's worth.
Yeah, but he didn't vouch. No one's vouching for Jeff
But
Saturday.
the week's
No
not
one.
over. Like, he just had his press conference coming out. Like, he probably just like had his team meetings yesterday where he was introduced to the team itself. Give it time, and Peyton will probably come out. Like, he probably wanted to just let Jeff Saturday come out and speak and defend himself, which he did forcefully in that press conference. And so I'm sure he will. Like, come on. Like, we know, and we have Monday Night Football where I'm sure he'll talk about it, and I'm sure he'll give his vote of support to Jeff Saturday. But like, he doesn't need to come out and have a press conference because his friend is coach now.
Is Jeff Saturday coaching the Colts next season?
Yes.
Yeah, he probably is.
No, he is not. This
He's got
is
an 8-game audition. I
Yep,
think he
they're gonna-
probably is.
They're going to be like in the top 5. They're tanking. They're trying to get a QB. He's on NFL Live next year. He is not coaching that team. I just have no faith in this. Like, never coached before, no experience, doesn't know how to do the position, has no idea how to manage a game for a quarterback. He's not like you have all this like rich history of offensive line coaches through the NFL, like leading teams to win. When was the last time an offensive line coach was hired and became a good NFL coach? Like, I can't recall. It's not like he's a former quarterback or
Like,
anything.
Munchak was all right.
I'm pretty sure Mike McDaniel also coached the offensive line at some point.
No, Mike Munchak was not okay. And Mike McDaniel is a wide receivers coach as well. He knows how the quarterbacks go. I just, no faith in Jeff Saturday. No faith.
Overreaction.
We'll see. Speaking of overreacting, how about this AFC East? Every single team in this AFC East has a winning record. How do you feel about this division, Nick?
I mean, I did not expect this at all. I mean, we were quick to throw the Patriots and the Jets under, but somehow all 4 teams just keep winning. Somehow the Jets beat the Bills last week. They've beat the Dolphins. The Bills are 0-2 in the division and now dealing with a Josh Allen injury. Exciting times.
It's a competitive division. Maybe some of that shine's wearing off Buffalo. Maybe some of you guys are figuring out how to
Another
play that.
preseason prediction was that the Dolphins were going to win the division over here. Just saying. Everybody's like, what? What? No, Josh Allen is football god.
I think you're gonna have to wait
I
for
did not say that.
the injury to happen to Josh
Maybe the one
Allen.
below me, though.
Take credit.
Josh Allen's like that Bills team's clearly beatable, and
Maybe Josh Allen was just hurt, and that's why the Jets were able to win.
I mean, he didn't get hurt till the second last play of the game.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know when he got hurt in that game. That's what they're saying. He looked bad all game. I mean, I was like,
He does that.
Yeah, I
He
can
could
see
throw the ball far.
he does. He does have a cannon arm. All right, our favorite section here, power rankings. Let's get into them here. Looks like they're pretty similar. We've
Yeah.
got Eagles, Chiefs, and Bills. Oh no. Looks like Nick has got the Vikings in that third spot, as well as I do. Man, the Bills are just dropping out of this top three. I think this Josh Allen injury is kind of what's doing it. I think, yeah, like Chris was saying, the Bills are beatable.
They are.
Why do you have the Eagles number one, Nick?
I mean, they're the only undefeated team right now. They're doing it on both offense and defense. I think they also lead the league in interceptions.
This is true. Chris, why don't you have the Eagles number one?
Cause I do my power rankings a little bit differently, my friends. Eagles play the Chiefs today. They get beat.
I would agree with that.
They
I would
get
agree with
beat
that
in
too.
Philadelphia. They get beat in Kansas City. They get beat on a neutral field. Like that's just how I feel about it. And so as I talked about it, like, yes, like I need to see the Eagles have some more quality wins. Like, yes, wins are good. They're doing great. They're number 2 in my power rankings. They're the best team in the NFC. But like I don't see them winning a Super Bowl today from what I've seen so far. And that's all I'm trying to say with my power rankings right now.
Definitely need to see a little
Yeah.
bit more before I would be convinced as well. Looks like it's Vikings, Dolphins, and Bills in some form or fashion from 3 to 5 for us. We have the Vikings playing the Bills this weekend, so we should definitely get some clarity there. Nick's Dolphins getting back into the top 5. This offense just
Yep.
putting up points, just crazy. They
Yep.
put up 35 in Chicago.
Yeah, 35 in Chicago, another 30 something, 30 plus in Detroit. If the
Everything's
defense can pull together a couple stops, this team will be all right.
Most
Very
competent passing game across the league last weekend by far from
Yeah.
all the games I watched. Like Dolphins just, yeah, like nobody has a passing offense like them.
It's true. This is true. All right, let's move forward to these pick'ems. I had to get corrected on how to count because I don't know how to sometimes for the week 9 results. Looks like Chris went in first, 7-4-2. We had 2 pushes last week. Good
Yep.
Lord. I came right in second, 6-5-2, and Nick was right there at 4-7-2.
You don't gotta
Right-
be nice,
right-
shit the bed.
Right there at 4,
Right there.
7, and 2. Just
Right there at 4-7.
just missed it.
Right there. Right there. Spring of the season totals here. I'm at 59%. Nick is right there, 48.4%.
Yeah,
Staying around the
is.
500 mark.
It's right
Bill,
there.
right
Right
there.
where it needs to be.
45%. Billings is making that comeback.
I got
He's
some work
slowly
to
creeping
do.
closer.
It's
All
a
right.
long season, fellas.
Yeah.
Long season.
It is a long season. We do have the Falcons going to the Panthers to start off week 10. The Falcons are road favorites of 3 points, and it looks like we are all in agreement on the Falcons. Do we have much to say about this game?
It's probably going to be a low scoring game.
I
Not
got
much excitement.
PJ Walker, DJ Moore. I got nothing. Nothing needs to be said.
Panthers lead 3-0, 9:50 left in the second. Yeah, we're not missing anything right now.
No. Interesting game. Germany, Munich, Tom Brady Buccaneers. Home favorites, 2.5 points. Looks like we have some division. Billings is buying the Bucks. Tell us why.
Like I saw some hints of old Brady last
Mhm.
week, and so I think he continues with that. He smells the success, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, that's better than all the bullshit I've been dealing with the last couple months. I want to do that again." So there's blood in the water for Brady. I think he has like a really good win against the Seahawks, a good Seahawks team here. And I think this will be a tight game. I just think it's going to come down to Brady beating the Seahawks defense. in the last couple minutes of the game, most likely.
Why do you disagree, Nick?
I mean, I agree with a lot of those points. Tom Brady's sneakily second in the league with like 2,500 passing yards right now.
Dang.
So Chris is onto something there. I don't think that team it's just not the same team it's been the last few years. And I think that this Seahawks team has found something. And it should be a really good game.
I
I guess
agree.
it's going to come down to a late field goal or something.
I'm waking up at 9:30 to watch that one. Bucks can't run the ball. Giving Pete Carroll another chance to make the Bucks one-dimensional. I think that they take care of business and pull the upset on that one. I like it by a field goal, like you were saying, late. I think Seahawks are just a little bit more well-rounded. Vikings, Bills. Still don't know if Josh Allen's going to play. The time of this, we had Buffalo at 5. Looks like Nick is the only one picking the Vikings. I hope that wasn't just to be different.
No, I actually like what we talked before. This Bills team is beatable,
Yep.
and just like Chris had with his Coach of the Year, Kevin O'Connell. I can't even remember his name, but
Yeah.
that guy. I think this Vikings team is playing really well, and they are the second best team in the NFC right now. And
Billings,
this Josh Allen injury does not help.
this is true. Are you still backing the Bills? Still think they're taking care?
Yes, I don't see the Vikings team walking into Buffalo and winning this game. And that's more just, I guess, a personal bias in my own headspace or something, but I can't fathom it. I can't fathom a world where Kirk Cousins and the Vikings march into Buffalo and win.
I agree. If Josh Allen is healthy, I don't even know. I just think the Bills are going to win that game. I just think they're bouncing back after that loss to the Jets where they did not play very well. I think the Bills win that game regardless. What do we got here? Lions, Bears. Bears home favorites of 3. I am the only one picking the Lions. I don't know why. I think it's a push, to be honest. It felt like a push line, and I think the Lions maybe played a little bit better after their win last week against the Packers. Maybe it fired them up a little bit because, speaking of getting fired, Dan Campbell didn't get fired, so I think maybe it's a push. That's why I'll go with that 3. You anything to say about this Bears-Lions game?
I don't know. I think the Bears are onto something. I think they found something last week. They're starting to use Justin Fields the way that they should. And these two teams are actually the Dolphins' 2 opponents the last 2 weeks. So I was able to watch both games. And I think this Bears team could put up some points this week, especially against this Lions defense.
That's fair. What do you got, Billings?
Yeah, I told you in earlier episodes, I'm not picking the Lions anymore.
Fair enough. I just did it because it was a push. Felt like it was a push.
That I agree with you there. I could definitely see this being a push.
Yeah. I don't like the Lions either. Speaking of teams you don't like, you got your Broncos. Go on and play the Titans. Titans, 3 points, home favorites. We are all in agreement on the Titans winning the game. Why are you picking the Titans, Billings?
They're just going to run the ball with Derrick Henry the whole game, and the Broncos struggle against the run. And hey, they just happen to get rid of their best run defender and Bradley Chubb. So I think it's a plus 200-yard game easily for Derrick Henry, and they steamroll the Broncos.
Ouch. Nick?
I got to agree with Chris. These last 4 or 5 weeks when Derrick Henry's he's picked up his groove again. He makes Tannehill a better quarterback. I think Tannehill's back this week, or is it going to be Malik Willis again? Because it didn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's Malik Willis or Ryan. If it's Ryan Tannehill, it's even worse of a scenario. But yeah, it's gonna be the Derrick Henry show.
Yeah, I'm all on board with that. The Titans are much better coached. He'll have a game plan set up. And I don't think the Broncos will be able to pull that out. Jaguars and Chiefs is our next game. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. Looks like both of you guys are backing the Chiefs, and I am picking the Jags. Felt like too many points. Come on, after that Sunday night game, they got to be tired. Why are you picking the Chiefs in this many points, Nick?
I mean, because the Jaguars, they tricked us in the beginning of the season to make them think they were on the right track, but they are not good.
They are not. You are right. They tricked me. I
tricked. Mean, if this was 9.5 points and they were in Jacksonville, maybe I would take the Jags, but I just don't see it.
Billings, what do you got?
Yeah, like just all the conditions involved, from like the weather this weekend to playing an Arrowhead. Like this might as well be a preseason game for the Chiefs.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that Spicoli flow, known as Trevor Lawrence, and the Jags to cover that at 9.5 points. Maybe that wind will go ahead and be blowing in that hair, and he can make some plays.
That wind's going to be blowing when he gets sacked multiple times.
Okay. We've got our next game here. Knicks Dolphins, 3.5-point favorites against the Browns. More disagreement here. Billings and I picking the Browns. Why are you picking the Browns, Billings?
All right, everyone. Calm down. The Dolphins are going to win this game. This is a betting issue. It's that half-point fucking hook right there. That half fucking point there. That half point wasn't there. Be all in on the Dolphins, but no, I'm not falling for this. Dolphins by a field goal. Browns cover.
I agree with Billings' assessment. It's the hook. That's the only reason I picked the Browns as well. If it was 3, I would pick the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins win by exactly a field goal. What do you think? What do you think, Nick?
I mean, I think the Dolphins win by more than a field goal because the Browns' offensive attack is running the ball. The Dolphins actually do stop the run well unless you have a mobile quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett is not that quarterback. I think this Dolphins defense saw him all last year in practice. They know his tendencies, and it's going to be a bloodbath.
I'll be perfectly honest. I think the Dolphins will get off to an early lead, like in a substantial lead, but Browns will come back because most likely McDaniel will just lift his foot off the pedal.
That does seem to be the issue.
Mm-hmm. So like in feeling of this game, like it'll feel like the Browns were never in it, but it's like I said, that half-point hook, don't fall for it. Vegas is trying to trick you.
The Browns will get a late touchdown somehow.
All right. Speaking of Vegas trying to trick us into watching a game, we have the Giants 6.5-point favorites against the Texans. All of us picked the Giants. I don't think we need to talk about that one.
No.
Same.
Very
I'm
similar
surprised
to the Jags
it's
Chiefs.
6.5.
No one cares. It's the Giants, Texans. We have Saints, Steelers. Steelers at home, 2.5-point underdogs. Looks like Billings is picking the Saints. Tell me why.
Honestly, who cares about this game?
Tuesday.
I just think the Saints are the all more rounded team in terms of just personnel that they have available is more what I'm coming here for. And then they just have their offense has the ability to be explosive, which we've seen the Steelers just aren't able to handle when that does happen. So I'm going with the Saints. I think they most likely win by a field goal.
Could see it. It's a crap game. Steelers, Saints.
Steelers coming off a bye.
Yeah,
I take them Steelers off a bye at home.
That's pretty much the same reason I picked them too. An interesting game we're all in agreement in here is Colts 6.5-point underdogs going to Las Vegas against the Raiders. Why did you pick them to cover this? I'll start with Nick.
I mean, I think this third game in a row that's just a bad game. I just don't see the Raiders winning by 6.5. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that, and really doesn't even matter who wins this game.
So, what do you got, Billings?
I think the Raiders will win this game, but like I think the Colts will come out strong. Like I think that team will be fired up and try to support Jeff Saturday. Most likely. That's just teams do rally behind new coaches
Mhm.
as we've seen. So that's more what I'm just coming from. But I do think the Raiders still win because just same as I said earlier, they're have better personnel all around.
I would agree. That 6.5 points feels exactly right. I mean, one of the Colts probably cover that, or it's like 6 points or 5 point game. All right, maybe an actual good game here. We have a marquee game of the afternoon. The Packers, Billings' biggest surprise and disappointment, 5.5 point underdogs against my Cowboys. He's actually picking this disappointment to cover the spread of 5.5 points. Tell me why you're picking this.
I told you this like 2 weeks ago that I was like, you probably don't want the Packers to get beat by the Lions because then their bounce back game could very well be the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen. This is a trap game where I think the Packers somehow show up. Maybe you guys just have an off game. They beat y'all, and then everybody in the media is scratching their head like, hey, were we wrong about the Packers and Aaron Rodgers? And can they bounce back and still make the playoffs? No. You weren't wrong about the Packers. They're not going to make the playoffs. This is just going to be a fluke game. You'll be all right, Dallas. Trap game. Just, yeah, you're going to just have to get past this weekend in one piece, Tony, and move on with your season. Because ultimately, you're going to make the playoffs. The Packers will not.
Nope. So wrong. This game is going to be what gets Aaron Rodgers benched. He's not going to play quarterback anymore for the Packers. The Cowboys are going to go up there and they're going to kick their ass.
So you think we see some Jordan Love in this game?
Yes, they're going to win by at least a touchdown. They're going to blow them out. And by halftime, when you're going to hear boos, you're going to hear boos because the Packers are going to be losing. And it's going to be Mike McCarthy. And it's going to be his face up there on the Jumbotron and Aaron Rodgers. And out's going to come Jordan Love when they're down by 2 touchdowns in the second half. And then there isn't going to be a bounce back. It's going to be like, where's Aaron Rodgers going to play next season? Are the Packers going to trade him? They're 3-7. The Vikings have pretty much clinched this division.
I know I already owe a shotgun because the Lions beat the Packers. But if Aaron Rodgers gets, if he gets benched in this game, yes, I will double down. I will double fist shotgun. Bam. Because that ain't happening.
Okay, right. I told you. What do you got, Nick?
I mean, I agree with you, Tony. I think I heard a stat the other day that the Packers hadn't lost 5 games in a row in like 30 years. It was just surprising to me. But I guess when you have Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers as your quarterbacks the last 30 years, it's hard to lose multiple games in a row. I think this fan base doesn't know what to do right now.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's been waiting for this game. They're going to be rattled. I know it.
Brett Favre, hit me up. I got an investment for you.
What else do we got here? We got Cardinals, Rams, 3-point home favorites. Nick on his lonely island picking the Cardinals. You playing Call of Duty with Kyler? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I think he's going to break out of it 2 in a row since Call of Duty came out. Okay. So I think maybe he has a bad week in Call of Duty and he turns it around on the field. I don't know.
Billings, why are we picking the Rams?
Aaron Donald.
Good analysis. All right. Sunday Night Football. Chargers, Niners, home favorites of 7. Billings picking the Niners. Tell me why. Seems like a lot of points.
Because that Chargers team, like I know they won. They don't look good. Justin Herbert doesn't want to get hit right now.
Yeah.
Niners will outcoach them, outman them. And I think they're just gonna blitz Herbert the whole fucking game.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with all that, but I think it'll be a lot
second
closer
time.
Where
you're like, I agree with you, but
close to the 7-point score.
I agree with Nick. I agree with you, Billings. This is a push. That's why I picked the Chargers. I was like, this is a push.
it'll
This is
most
another
likely
line.
be a push. Yes,
This is a
that
push.
I think the three of us can agree
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, these stinking pushes. All right. Commanders, Eagles to wrap up the night. Eagles 11-point favorites. Nick picking the Eagles to cover that. That's a big spread.
I just want to be different on Monday nights. You
It's-
guys, these Monday night games aren't even fun anymore. So
You're bad. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm watching this game.
I'm not watching it either. I just picked the Commanders because
Yeah.
that's like a lot of points. 11 is a lot. I don't know.
Commanders will cover. They'll lose by 8.
Billings picks right there. Commanders lose by 8. All right. Well, that are our picks for week 10. That is the NFL show. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys have yourselves a wonderful Sunday.
Thanks for watching the Sports Buds. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.